Hey, welcome to week 3. So, a couple things. I know that you've got journaling built into this course. Um, the value of memorializing in writing um, is not a bad habit to have. There are industries like the intelligence industry where that's a cover your butt kind of a situation. If it's not written down, it didn't happen kind of thing. For artists, journaling is often a method by which to create understanding. Various flows um, periodically overlap or come together or find their way in close proximity, et cetera, et cetera, et cetera. And then all of a sudden, there's the opportunity to extrapolate, reinterpret, that sort of thing. So I just wanted to kind of do a quick um, level set on journaling. Um, it's a great habit to be in for the rest of your life, career wise. Um, it's entirely possible that you might find yourself in a position where, um, your your superiors are corrupt, for example, but you're not in a position to be a whistleblower. So you type up your stuff and you send it in anonymously. And if nobody in the home field seems to want to pay attention, you can type it up and send it to, a news outlet. Maybe a journalist will be able to run with it. But yeah, it's always valuable to do that. Now, as far as this class is concerned, we're looking for a number of things, but again, still in the realm of um, always, always. Let's talk about APA for a moment. Cover page and reference page don't count. It is 5 to 6 pages, this second milestone. And if you don't stick to 5 to 6 pages, then I'm, you know, I've got reason to look at that and think maybe they don't know how to follow directions. Bear in mind again, and I've said this to many of you already, editing is a professionalism skill. It really is. You know, a 5 to 6 page paper might fluff out to 7 pages, 8 pages. Fine, no problem. You can edit that down. Um, the problem is when you've only got 1 or 2 pages and you need it to be 6 or 5. Now you're just, blowing it up with nonsense. And that's a shame. Don't do that. Or conversely, if you find yourself with 15, 16, 18 pages, it's a little harder to edit down, but it can be done. Anyway, good luck with that. I mentioned references. I've been asked how many references should I have. Okay, there's no golden number that I have, but if it's like a 1 to 2 page paper, I'm expecting at least one reference. If it's a discussion, I'm expecting at least one reference. If you're responding in a discussion, I'm expecting at least one reference. If it's a paper of consequence, like a milestone, probably half a dozen references. By the way, there's a couple references built in here. You know, The personas, the org chart, those are two references right there. So yeah, come on. You folks are supposed to be getting a graduate degree. This is a capstone class. Once this is over, for many of you, that's the end of your journey to getting a master's degree. How do you stand in front of the world and say I'm a master? To have the ability to stand on all that research is how. That's what confirms your abilities. Honestly, that's a major difference between you and somebody getting a bachelor's degree. You know, at the graduate level, it's all about research. Formatting your deliverables. Last name first, first name last, and the assignment number. Okay, so um, John Smith would be Smith, comma John, 3-1. Okay, it's not complicated. Okay, but if you don't do that, it makes my life harder, and I've been asking for it. I've been asking nicely, so please do that. So let's talk about the assignment itself. Employee stability. If they're staying, okay, um, all the more reason to offer supports. It sounds like this is not a hostile takeover. It sounds like the company that's interested in buying us is hoping to have the value of embracing the employees that we have. Okay. Nonetheless, if you could make some supports available, it won't cost that much since they're probably not going to be being used. But it affords you the additional transparency and muscle, for lack of a better way of saying it, that you can go to your employees and say, listen, we're anticipating a friendly takeover, we're considering a friendly merger, or however you want to say it, and while we don't anticipate anyone losing their employment, what's also true is we want to offer training to make you stronger in case you want to stay here. And chances are, we hope that you'll stay. Transfers, if that's at all possible. Um, Counseling for the anxious, stuff like that. It can't hurt. I'm looking for um, what are our demographics. I'm looking for an analysis of those demographics. I'm looking for our attrition and why. I'm looking for our retention and why. And I'm looking for actionable steps. You know, have we ever had a company picnic? Um, are there resources available to us as a company that we can make available to our employees, like maybe a retreat facility or something? Um, are there, you know, recreational facilities on the property where, on a break, an employee can go out and let off some steam, shoot some hoops, run a track, take Pilates, I don't know, whatever. Having a gym in house, not a bad use of company money. to put one of those together. All right, let me go ahead and wrap this up. I'm going too long, but I'm going to be a little bit longer. I actually did raise a human being once upon a time, and she's doing me proud, thank God. But there was something I fashioned on her way toward adulthood. She was, um, I guess, 8, 9, 10, looking to become a teen, and at first it didn't seem so important to come up with this kind of advice, but I kept looking at the dynamic, and eventually um, it begged a response. And so, and the trick to bridging your teen years, in my opinion, um, turns out to be pretty good advice uh, for adults generally, you know, when we're stuck between a rock and a hard place. So, um, but basically, this had to do with bridging childhood and adulthood. And so, while um, there's all this stuff that she's looking forward to as if there's no real responsibilities. It's just freedom, freedom, freedom. Um, it, anyway, this is basically what it boiled down to. To be a real success, um, be your own best, honest, functional parent. If you can parent yourself positively, functionally, and honestly, you're definitely headed in the right direction. Two other things, real quick. If you've been through some hard times, notice you're still around. Just remember you have all the tools you need, and there's no reason why you can't get through whatever you're facing. And finally, for now anyway, there's a relationship between the quality of life and how much you're willing to take on. So, let that roll around in your head for a while and see how that's applicable. You know, you guys are great. You really are. Thank you. I'll see you in the classroom.